Breaking news. Trump pauses tariffs on Mexico for 1 month in a dramatic shift in trade policy. President Donald Trump announced that he has agreed to immediately pause the anticipated tariffs on imports from Mexico for 1 month. The announcement comes following what the president described as a very friendly conversation with Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum, according to CNN's Kevin Liptak. In a post on his social media platform Truth Social, President Trump stated, "I just spoke with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico. It was a very friendly conversation, wherein she agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border, separating Mexico and the United States." He went on to add, "These soldiers will be specifically designated to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal migrants into our country." President Trump continued, "We further agreed to immediately pause the anticipated tariffs for a 1-month period, during which we will have negotiations headed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, along with high-level representatives of Mexico. I look forward to participating in those negotiations with President Sheinbaum as we attempt to achieve a deal between our two countries." The decision to pause the tariffs comes on the heels of new tariff announcements made by Trump on Saturday, which targeted imports from Mexico, Canada, and China. Under the new sweeping measures, scheduled to take effect on Tuesday, a duty of 25% was imposed on all imports from Mexico and on most imports from Canada, with a carve-out allowing a duty of only 10% on energy products. Additionally, a new duty of 10% was set on imports from China. Following the announcement of the tariff pause, President Sheinbaum also took to social media to confirm that she and President Trump had reached agreements on both security and trade matters. As part of these new security arrangements, Mexico has committed to immediately reinforcing its border with 10,000 members of its National Guard, while the United States has pledged to work on measures aimed at preventing high-powered weapons from being trafficked into Mexico. In related developments, President Trump also disclosed that earlier in the day, he had held an initial telephone conversation with Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. A follow-up conversation is scheduled later today as the deadline for the tariff changes on Canadian imports approaches midnight. Analysts are closely watching these moves as they represent a significant recalibration of U.S. trade policy. The decision to temporarily pause the tariffs appears to be part of a broader strategy aimed at facilitating high-level negotiations and potentially reaching a new trade deal with Mexico. Experts believe that this pause could provide both sides with the opportunity to address contentious issues such as border security, the flow of illegal drugs and migrants, and the overall balance of trade between the two nations. This development comes at a time when trade tensions in North America remain high, and the United States is seeking ways to secure its borders while simultaneously renegotiating trade terms with its neighbors. The move to pause tariffs for 1 month is being interpreted by many as a pragmatic step designed to ease immediate tensions and pave the way for more constructive dialogue. However, critics argue that such a pause may simply delay inevitable confrontations over trade imbalances and border security concerns. The broader implications of this announcement have drawn significant attention from international trade experts and political analysts. Some see it as a sign that the current protectionist approach may be giving way to more flexible, negotiation-based strategies. Others caution that the temporary nature of the pause might mask underlying issues that could resurface if comprehensive trade agreements are not reached. Moreover, this announcement adds to the growing list of unconventional decisions made by the Trump administration in recent years. By agreeing to pause tariffs and simultaneously reinforcing security measures on the border, President Trump appears to be attempting to balance domestic pressure to protect American workers and consumers with the need to maintain stable relations with key trading partners. While the long-term outcome of these negotiations remains uncertain, the move to pause tariffs is likely to have immediate effects on border commerce and the broader economic relationship between the United States and Mexico. Business leaders on both sides of the border have expressed cautious optimism that these negotiations could lead to a more predictable and mutually beneficial trade environment. As the negotiations move forward, both domestic and international observers will be closely monitoring the developments. The outcome of these discussions is expected to have far-reaching consequences not only for U.S.-Mexico trade relations, but also for the broader dynamics of international trade policy in an era marked by rising protectionism and global economic uncertainty. Stay tuned as this story develops, and we will continue to provide updates on the high-stakes negotiations and their impact on the trade landscape in North America.